So you're thinking about moving down here to South Florida, and why wouldn't you? We have beautiful beaches, some of the most amazing weather, and plenty of sports to fit any kind of lifestyle that you want to live. But before I moved back here, I didn't really do my research. And so today's video is all about the top 7 things that I wish I would have looked at a lot closer before moving back here to be close to my mom and my family. So we'll get it right after it, right after this. Hey, my name is Vinnie. I want to welcome you to my channel, Living in South Florida, and I appreciate you being here. Today's video is about the top 7 things that I wish I would have looked at a little bit closer before moving back here to be by my mom and my family. We're going to cover topics like taxes, healthcare, insurance, the school systems, the population, HOAs, and of course, allergies, which are one of the worst things that plagued me in my first few years of moving back. Do me a favor, you're going to want to watch this thing all the way through, because after each section, I'm going to give you either a pro tip or a life hack on how you can ease the burden of transitioning from wherever it is that you're moving from to start living your Florida dream. Now, I grew up here in Coral Springs. If you watched my trailer, then you know that already. I had a career that took me out west, and I lived in Las Vegas for 25 years, and I moved back in 2018. Now, the problem with that was we didn't really do our research in order to be able to understand a lot of things, and I went through the list in details, and right now we're going to get started and jump right into it with taxes. Now, the state of Florida is known for not having any state income tax, which is a fantastic thing for a lot of people. The problem with that, and the dark side of the coin on that, of course, is going to be that we make up for it in several different ways. So the lack of state income tax is a significant financial advantage to many people who are moving here. The problem is that property taxes and sales taxes make up for it. So when you're dealing with coming here from a state that doesn't have the high property taxes that we have, or a state sales tax on every single purchase that you make on goods and services, then that can impact you as well. Here is your pro tip or your life hack. I want you to know that you can file for what's called a homestead exemption. So when you purchase a home down here this year, let's say you purchase it this year, by March 1st of next year, you have to apply for the homestead exemption because it's your primary residence. And that's going to give you either $25,000 or $50,000 off the property's taxable value, which can increase a significant amount of taxation on your property. Now, the way that they calculate the homestead exemption is by how many adults are on the title or the deed of the home. So me and my wife, when we owned our home, we have $25,000 for me and we have $25,000 for her, making it a $50,000 total deduction of the taxable value, which decreases our taxation by quite a bit. So there's your life hack. All right, so let's move on to topic number 2, which is healthcare. Now, Florida has top-rated hospitals, especially in highly populated areas like Miami or even Tampa, and access to them is readily available. But in rural areas, you're going to have to really investigate whether or not it has the type of hospitalization or healthcare that you're going to need. Florida is also very retiree friendly because it's a retiree heavy kind of a state, especially down here in South Florida. So if you need retirement services or if you need any kind of special services with doctors, you want to look into that very closely and make sure that you pick a neighborhood or a community that's around a facility that you might need healthcare from. Researching providers is going to be the pro tip or the life hack that I give you on this one. Make sure you really do your due diligence on looking into every single healthcare provider that you start services with. Make sure you get referrals, recommendations, you read their reviews, and you check into exactly what's going on with their practices. How long have they been in practice, and what type of insurance that they accept. Here in Florida, we have Florida Blue. Now, we do know that healthcare is very expensive, and here in Florida, it's about $7,000 a year per family, which is way higher than the national average. National average is about $4,500 per family. That's out of pocket per person. So what you want to do is you definitely want to take a look at that. You want to make sure that you pick the right plan that suits you and for your family, and whatever the health care it is that you need or whatever the benefits are that you require, make sure you investigate them so that way you get those taken care of. I'm going to continue a little bit more on the healthcare bit simply because it blends into insurance, which is my next topic. Now, health insurance, like I said, is more expensive here. It's about $7,000 per year out of pocket compared to $4,500 per year out of pocket across the nation. And so with that, you have to know that you have to budget that expense into whether it be your retirement plan or your financial status, how much money you're going to be making if you're moving here for a job or relocating for a career. Then you have to make sure that you plan that out unless your company provides benefits for you. So take that into consideration. Other issues with insurance are going to blow your mind. The way that we do car insurance around here is mind-boggling. I never really realized what no-fault insurance was. But when I moved back here and I realized that no-fault insurance means that an accident is nobody's fault. And when you submit a claim, your insurance goes up whether it's your fault or not. So you have to definitely consider that if you're going to be moving here and you plan on owning a car and driving consistently, because an accident is going to happen. One of the good benefits about having car insurance down here is that you're allowed up to 4 windshields per year, which was a surprise to me as well. 4 windshields per year. So if you have a rock kick up from a big semi on the highway and it spiders your windshield, you can get that replaced for free. So that was a great piece that I didn't know about. Next up on the list is the school system. Now, my original vision of moving home was not coming back here with kids. My kids were already grown up. They were off doing their thing, serving in the military, and I had planned on moving back here being single and free. That turned around because the love of my life came in and just changed everything. And we actually moved back here having 3 kids in school ages. And so the first place that we moved into, we didn't really realize that we should have done our homework and our research and looked at the school districts, because the school districts can vary quite a bit. And here are some of the things that are going to affect that. The tax rate of the city that you're living in can definitely affect the quality of the schools where you send your children. And so you want to make sure that you're going to a place that has really good schools, depending on how old your children are and what schools that you want them to go to. Then you want to do the investigation and look at certain communities that are zoned for A-rated schools. And I can help you do that. That's going to be the #1 thing that you can do. And there's your life hack and your pro tip in on that. Make sure that if schools are important to you, get property that is zoned for a specific school, and we know exactly which schools are the best for you and for your kids. When you're doing your research and you're taking a look into it and you want some properties that are specifically for A-rated elementary or middle or high schools, then make sure that you speak to me about that and let me know that that's really important to you, and I can set up searches specifically for you so that way you get properties only zoned for those types of schools. Florida also has something called a choice program. We also have magnet schools that you have to apply for and qualify for. So there are some other opportunities for your children to get into higher ranked schools and better schools that are focused on things that they want to pursue later on in life. And another amazing thing that we have here are plenty of private schools, and tuition can range anywhere from $10,000 to $12,000 a year, all the way up to $30,000 a year. And this is from elementary school age all the way through till high school. So if that's something that you're looking for as well, you can definitely let me know and I'll help you find one of those. All right, so now that we've covered schools, let's talk about population, something that definitely affects schools. It affects the ratings of schools because crowded classrooms bring A ratings down to B ratings when they're oversized and things. So population has affected Florida immensely, especially in the last 6 to 7 years. Ever since I moved here, population has increased significantly. In fact, in 2020, it is said that 675,000 people moved here during the coronavirus, probably because of our COVID-19 relaxed rules, our mask laws, and our distancing and our quarantine were a lot softer than some of the other states like New York, New Jersey, California. So a lot of people were flocking here because of the freedom that they knew they were going to experience. Currently, there's about 1.5 million people living in Palm Beach County. And guess what? It's not even the largest county in all of the state of Florida. It's in the top 5. I believe we're #3. But by the time you watch this video, we could be #1. Population and people moving here to Palm Beach County specifically because of our school zones, because of our ratings, and because of all of the beautiful things that we have to offer you as a person is one of the reasons why our population has grown so much. So make sure that you're paying attention to that. And the life hack with population is that you look at the area that you want to move to. There are areas that are much further north in Palm Beach County that are less densely populated. Or if you want someplace that's high life, that's fast moving, then you want to go someplace that's a little bit more concentrated and has a great nightlife, we have that. So we have the entire spectrum. One more piece on population. You know, it's said that there are about 1,200 people moving to Florida every single day. How many of those do you think drive? So think about traffic jams and think about rush hour and what that really looks like on top of all the construction that's going on our roads down here. You really have to plan out your commute, know exactly what the alternate routes are going to be for you to get from wherever you need to be to go. So that way, you know it's going to be a lot easier to take an alternate route at rush hour time than it is during the other times of day. Okay, so let's talk about HOAs. Now, HOAs get a bad rap. And unfortunately, there are a lot of HOAs that deserve that bad rap because of the strict rules of enforcement that they have. They have the right to tell you what to do with your property within the community, including its appearance, landscaping, and also if you want to do any kind of renovations, you have to put in what's called an ARC packet, and you have to ask permission for replacing your roof, painting the exterior, or even changing out the pavers. Sometimes they even have restrictions on how you can paint your driveway in the front. On top of that, they enforce all of the rules and regulations of the community. So they'll come around, they'll tell you that you have to pull your weeds, that you have to pressure wash your driveway or pressure wash your home because it looks dirty or it looks moldy. If you have an old beat up car in your driveway, that's going to be removed. And that's the plus side of it, because you don't want to be living next to somebody who doesn't care about their property and the appearance of their property is actually bringing the value of your home or the curb appeal of your home down. So it has its pluses and its minuses. Another big piece of it are the fees and the assessments. The HOAs generally have a monthly fee that you're going to have to pay. And this could include a wide variety of different services. They could have security. It could be guard gated. It could have a park. It could have a community swimming pool. It could have a gym. It could include cable. It could include internet. There are a wide variety of different services that come along with your HOA and are included in your monthly payment. On top of that, they may assess you for things that are going to increase the value of your home itself and the community itself. Recently, I know of one community that had its playground redone out by the pool area, and after renovating it, all of the units were assessed an extra $100 just to help pay for the costs and to offset the fees. But generally, what an HOA does is they include what's called reserves. And in these reserves, they generally start to speculate what they're going to need in order to be able to provide those improvements on the property and keep the value of the entire community at a very high level. Now, a great little life hack for you on the entire homeowner association thing and communities that have an HOA is this: investigate the HOA. Make sure that you get a copy of the CC&Rs. Make sure you get a good copy of the rules and regulations, that you see the budget, and that you know that this type of community is a type of community that you can actually live in comfortably without dealing with a Gestapo-style governing system or body going over you, telling you every little thing that you can and cannot do. Some of them have restrictions on where you can park, what day is the even side of the homes, what day is the odd side of the homes. If this irritates you, then just make sure that you don't look for homes inside of that. When are you going to know? You generally get your rules and regulations and your covenants and restrictions when you're already in contract. So make sure within your inspection period that you have a good look at the rules and regs and the CC&Rs, and that way you know exactly whether or not you want to pursue the home and whether or not you want to live in that particular community based on the rules and regulations of that HOA. All right, number 7, are you ready? Boom, here we are. Listen, allergies are brutal. When I moved here, I didn't even realize or look into the amount of pollen and the mildew that is in the air. But guess what? We're living on a peninsula. We're close to the equator. This atmosphere down here is perfect for fruits and vegetables and weeds and all kinds of other plants to deliver pollen into the air. We have a high level of bees down here that love to pollinate one another and increase the yields of all of these fruits and vegetables. So Pollen in the air and mildew in the air as well are two contributing factors to people with allergies. So if you have any type of allergy, make sure that you look at the area that you're going to be moving into, especially places like Tampa or Miami or Palm Beach County itself. Look at those areas, see what the high pollen is, see if it's going to affect you in a negative way to be sure. If you already suffer from allergies, then you're going to have to be sure that you take a look at what types of pollen are in the air and how it's going to affect you transitioning here to live out your Florida dream. I actually developed adult asthma when I moved back. Never had a problem with it whatsoever. But when I moved back here from Las Vegas, suddenly I started having these weird pains in my chest and I couldn't breathe. I had to go to the ER and was quickly diagnosed with adult asthma. Now, made a big mistake in my younger years and I was a smoker for over 20 years. I quit. And since then, I haven't had any problems with my lungs, but diagnosing my adult asthma was a huge factor of me moving here. And it has a lot to do with what's in the air and the air that I'm breathing every single day. So here's your life hack on dealing with allergies. Get some of the local honey and make sure that it's local honey, that it's from the bees that are here that are pollinating all of these fruits and vegetables and weeds and areas down here, because they're going to be putting it into their honey. And by consuming that, it's going to help you get relief from any of the allergies that are coming to attack you. So that's it. That's the last pro tip and life hack that I'm going to give you in this video. So that about wraps it up for my 7 things that I wish I would have looked into a lot closer before I moved back here to South Florida to be by my family. My name is Vinny. If you have any questions whatsoever, reach out. You can reach me at this number right here, which is 561-320-4433. That is my direct line, and I answer it every time. Whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, it doesn't matter. Reach out, the sooner the better. That way we can have a consultation. I can walk you through the process, tell you exactly what it takes to buy a home in this market, and you can transition down here and I can help you start living your Florida dream. So have an amazing day and I'll see you on the next video.